Hey guys, it's Melissa here from melissaoatman.com. Welcome to Awaken Your Inner Awesomeness, a daily podcast devoted to spirituality and self-help. So today I wanted to talk to you about having confidence in everything that you do. A lot of people lack self-confidence, and we don't even realize that we're doing it, that we don't have self-confidence, but some people probably do realize it. You know, when you constantly question yourself and whether or not you're capable of doing the things that you need to get done, that is when you're lacking self-confidence. And there's so many of us who suffer from this. We just don't believe in ourselves enough. We don't think we have enough. We don't think we are enough. And the universe wants you to know that you have everything you need right now to be successful. The reason that we doubt ourselves is fear. And I know I've said this before, but it is so true. Fear is the underlying cause of most of our problems in our life. We allow fear to take over, and then we go down this spiral, this rabbit hole, if you will. It's like a domino effect. You let one little negative thought get in, and then 50 others follow. And it's really hard to keep yourself from going down this spiral. And once you've started, then you can't stop yourself in the middle of it. So then it just goes on and on and on. And I, think about my thoughts sometimes. Lately, at night, when I go to lay down and I want to go to sleep, I have been thinking about all of the things that I have to get done before a certain date. And right now, there is a huge list of things I have to get done. And I don't know why it is, but for me, it's always whenever I lay my head down and I want to go to sleep. That's when I can't shut my brain off sometimes. So I have to do a meditation or do something to pull myself out of that. Because as I lay my head down and I try to go to sleep, I think to myself, did you do the laundry? You needed to do laundry. Yeah, you've got this trip coming up. You need to do laundry. Oh, did you buy this? You need this for the trip. You need to go clean out your old classroom. When can you get that done? You got to set up your new classroom. You need to go you need to pick up a Chromebook. You need to go pick up the books for the new class because it's a different series, and you need to look at that and see what that's going to entail. Look at the new curriculum. Then you need to go change euros over. You need to go exchange your dollars for euros. And then it goes on and on and on. And I have a whole list. And before I know it, I've been laying awake for 40 minutes thinking about all of the things I have to get done. And the more I think about it, the more anxiety I get, right? The more anxious, like I've got to get this done. And the more I cannot fall asleep because I cannot detach my brain from all of these fear-based thoughts. It's really fear-based because there's no need for me to sit down and make a list as I'm falling asleep. There's nothing I can do about it, right? There's nothing I can do about it. Yet somehow this is the time that my brain goes to it. Maybe if I sat down during the day and actually made a physical list, maybe my brain would give me a break. But that's whenever it happens for me, and I'm sure I'm not alone. I'm sure that some of you are out there going, yeah, when I try to fall asleep, that's when my brain takes over and then says, nope, no sleep for you. But I want to encourage you to have confidence that you have the ability to get everything done that you need to get done. And this is the one thing that I think is causing me to lose sleep, is that I am not convinced that I'm going to get everything done that I need to get done. And what I need to realize and understand is that I always get things done that I need to get done. There really is not a time when I can count and say, well, I didn't get it done. I was supposed to get this done and I didn't do it. I'm always on top of things. Sometimes I wait too long. I wait till the last minute, but it still gets done. And so my point is, I need to have confidence in the fact that I always do the job and I always am thorough about the job that I do. And I need to remember that. Because part of my problem is I'm forgetting who I am. So when I lay down at night, the fear creeps in of you're not going to be able to get this done. Or your new students are not going to know you, so they're not going to like you, and they're not going to, the list goes on and on and on. And I actually did go to my classroom today, and I cleaned out my old classroom, which was very bittersweet for me. And then as I cleaned it out, I was going through my desk, and I had so many thank you notes from people throughout the years that I had just stuck in my desk. And it was really a sweet moment for me to go through and clean out my desk and see all of the ways that students have written me over the years to thank me, and colleagues have written me to thank me for the work that I did. Because as you're going throughout your day and you're doing this work, we sometimes get caught up in the busy bustle of everything, and we don't notice how people really appreciate us. We don't, and it's easy to take people for granted. And I guess this is the thing that is the most interesting thing to me about moving and getting a new job, is the amount of people who have come forward and told me how much they appreciated me and what a great job they thought I did, who have never said that before, or, who just didn't say it often. And it was a shock to me. I knew I tried to do a good job, but, I didn't know if it was always noticed or not. And same thing when I went to clean out my desk, I saw all these students' names that I had from years ago. When I first started there's 12 years of students. It was so sweet. Cards they made me, pictures they drew for me, their pictures that they gave me. All of these things I had tucked away. Those worries plagued me, and it was like when I first started teaching all over again of, are they going to like me? Do I know what I'm doing? Those same, first day jitters. And what I needed to remember is who I am. I am a veteran teacher now. I'm not a newbie. I'm a veteran teacher with 12 years of experience who knows that the important thing about teaching is making that connection with those kiddos and ensuring that they understand that I have their backs. I'm here for them. I'm going to help them learn. I'm going to make it easier for them to learn. And I was thinking about this the other night. There are some teachers out there who pride themselves in the fact that their material is difficult and that students have a hard time passing their class. In fact, a teacher one time that my children had bragged about the fact that he failed a lot of kids. And he stood up at open house, I remember this, talking about how difficult his class was and, different things. And I remember sitting in open house thinking, what a jerk. Like you're not a good teacher, because as a teacher, our job is to make things manageable for students. Our job is to take the material and chunk it down for them and to make it meaningful to them so that they learn it and they understand it. It's not to, people really misunderstand rigor and challenge with impossible. They think, well, if I am a difficult teacher, it means I'm a good teacher. If my students struggle, it's a good thing. And sometimes when a student is struggling, it's just a student struggling because you haven't made the materials clear to them. And that's where I think there's a huge gap between some types of teachers, They think that the fact that the students aren't getting the material means that they're challenging, but that's actually not the case. It's different if you challenge them and then they go, oh, and you give them a light bulb moment and you help them work through the challenge. That is different. But that's not what this teacher was talking about. This teacher was bragging about the fact that kids find his class difficult and they think it's too hard. And, I was just, if my mouth was open 5 feet wide sitting there listening to him talk, I wouldn't have been able to help it. I was just sitting there listening to this man what in the world is he talking about? No, that's not your job. That is not what a teacher does. And then even later on in the year, my daughter would come home and tell me that kids in her class, they had to recite Shakespeare from memory. It was like one, I don't know, it wasn't an entire act or anything like that, but it was, I guess, just a couple of paragraphs of Shakespeare. And she was so nervous about it. And in fact, she was pretty much crying at my house as I'm sitting there working with her. And I worked with her to memorize this thing. Because she told me, well, Mom, he was talking about it, and he said that he makes kids cry, and kids run out of his classroom crying, and they go get sick. And as I'm listening to this, I'm getting really mad, because that is not the point of teaching either. Again, confusing challenge and rigor with putting kids on the spot, embarrassing them, and being an ass, basically. And I worked with my daughter all night, and she said the whole thing to me several times. And she went to school the next day, froze, couldn't say anything, and cried, of course. He let her come back and do it, and she still missed some things because he intimidated her that much. Now, I can tell you as her parent, I sat there and she recited it to me perfectly. But going up in front of that teacher who was a bully, who was probably just trying to inflate his own ego because people who bully others, it's just to make themselves feel better. It's because they feel bad about themselves. And you can probably all think back to a teacher who did that to you. And I'm so sorry if you did have a teacher like that. I know I've had teachers like that in the past. And I did learn from them. I learned how not to teach when I grew up and became a teacher myself. I knew that those were not the teachers that I liked and appreciated and wanted to learn from. I learned more from the teachers who actually showed me that they cared about me, and that when I was struggling with something difficult, took the time to sit down with me and explain it. Those were the teachers who stuck out to me, and those were the ones that I wanted to be like. Not someone who made kids cry. That's not who I am. And so thinking back about being a teacher, I got a little sidetracked on that story, so thanks for sticking around with me there. But my point is that I know that I'm a good teacher. I know that I have all of this experience. I know that I take the time to actually make connections with my kids to leave a lasting impression. So I need to remember who I am and have confidence in that. Just as you need to remember who you are and have confidence in that. The sad thing about life is that for many of us, we don't actually know how people truly feel about us until we're gone. People just don't express how they feel, and they don't do it enough. I try to tell my kids, my students, that I care about them. But I even got to thinking, maybe I didn't even tell them enough. Because I know whenever I left the school, and even at the end of the school year, before I even knew that I had a different job, I had students leaving me messages on whiteboards saying they were so excited to have me again next year and hoped I had a great summer. And to me, that's the part of the whole making connections. And I think to myself, I didn't know how other people that I worked with thought about me until I wasn't there anymore. And I got that, I'm going to miss you so much, and the crying, and the, we don't know what people really think of us sometimes. And I think if you really, really knew how valued you were to people, that you wouldn't even question yourself. You wouldn't question your abilities. You would have total confidence in yourself. So next time you want to doubt yourself, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to take a step back and try to disconnect from the ego for a second and think about how you impact others. What would life be like if you weren't around? People would, I'm sure, miss you. I think about some of my listeners out there right now. Those of you who send me messages of encouragement or who post things and are so sweet, if you weren't there to do that, I would miss you terribly. Like, you impact my life in a big way. So just know that you are needed, you're loved, and you have everything you need to be successful. So you need to go out into this world with total confidence, knowing that you're a badass. You're a total badass. Nobody can stop you. You want to go for your dreams? Go for your dreams. We talk about manifesting, and one of the biggest things with manifesting is having confidence and knowing that the thing you want to manifest is already yours. It's already yours. It's getting past the doubt and the questioning. I know I want this and I trust the universe, but I'm not sure it's on its way. You've got to get that I'm not sure out. That's just your fear. That's just your ego stepping in and saying, you don't really deserve this. This really can't be yours. The universe isn't going to bring you that. You've got to quiet those fears and tell yourself, yes, you're worth it. And you have to believe you're worth it. The universe absolutely wants to bring you what you want. But you have to believe that you deserve it. And you have to know that it's already yours. Your name is already on it. The universe has already set it aside for you. Oh, this one's reserved for Carol. This job's reserved for Susie. I've already got it for him. It's already yours. So have confidence knowing that things are always working out for you. They're always working out perfectly for you. I am not kidding. Since I changed my mindset and I decided that everything always works out perfectly for me. Oh, and yeah, you're never going to believe this. Okay, so speaking of that, and speaking of trusting that the universe has your back, I got another email today that our hotel in Barcelona was changed again. And it is still on the beach, but they found a better hotel. And now we're at a hotel that has an amazing pool and a hot tub and a patio, and it's walking distance to Costa Brava. And hello. If that isn't like, thank you, universe, for having my back and for bringing things to me perfectly. As soon as I heard that, I went, thank you, universe. Because I know I'm manifesting things that are amazing. And I'll tell you how I know. Because I said I wanted to be on the beach. Suddenly our hotel changed. We're on the beach. And I was talking to people and I said, it's a great hotel. The rooms are a little dated, but it's great. Then we get a new hotel. These rooms are like brand new. You cannot make this stuff up. This is what happens when you finally decide that you're worth the best. You're worth the best. And the universe is listening to you. The universe is listening to your thoughts, and the universe is saying yes. The universe is always saying yes. But what is the universe saying yes to for you? That's what you need to think about. What is it that you're saying? Because the universe is saying yes. And for some of you, you're still in that lack mindset. You're still in doubt. You're still not thinking that whatever you want can come to you. And I get it. You've been conditioned for so long to doubt this. Me coming along for a year and telling you to change your mindset, it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take you some time. Some of you probably still aren't even realizing that you're having the thoughts that are doubting. Some of you have to get better at recognizing your thoughts. So I would urge you to work on that. And I want to remind you that Heather Doran and I are creating this course, and this course is starting It's starting on I think it's July 8th. It's Monday. I believe it is July 8th, but it is that Monday. That's when the course starts. So you have the rest of the week to sign up. And I'm going to be posting the syllabus to the course on my Facebook page. And you can go and look and see what all we're going to be teaching about. But we're doing a lot of the self-confidence stuff, the getting rid of money stories, creating a budget for yourself. And I know there's so many people out there who could really use this. So I urge you, and if you did the 5-day free training, then you just got a taste of what this course is going to be like. But I would urge you to go and check it out. This course is 12 weeks. It is kind of a hybrid. The lessons will be there like they were for the 5-day free training. You'll do the lesson, and then every other week we're going to go live on Zoom. And Zoom is different from doing a Facebook Live because we can actually see you face to face, and you will have a chance to ask your questions, and you don't have to type your questions. You can simply ask them. So you're really getting coaching, like one-on-one coaching in a group setting with Heather and I. And we wanted to limit it to 10 people because we want to work with you closely, and we want to be able to give you individual attention. So spots are filling up. So if you're interested, make sure you go and sign up. And the cost of the course, it's 12 weeks. There's actually 2 plans. You can pay in full for $1,300. Or if you need to make a payment plan, because I understand people do have, bills and things coming in. There's a payment plan, and that is 3 payments of $500. So it would be 3 months. 3-month payment plan. But I urge you, if you really want to get into this program and you're struggling financially and you need us to work with you, to just contact us. If we don't have any, if we're not full and we have a few slots open and you would really like to get in, but you need a different kind of payment plan, just contact myself, or you can also contact Heather. You can contact me through my Facebook page or through email. Or you can text me, however you want to get a hold of me. Just contact me, because we don't want anyone to miss out on this opportunity. It's going to be such a cool class. Your life is going to change after this. Not only are you going to be more confident in yourself and love yourself more, you're going to learn about how to be better with money and how to call in more money. So it's worth it. And if you own a business, this is a business write-off, because you can use this stuff in your business. You can learn how to budget for your business. And you can also learn how to call in more soulmate clients for your business. So something to think about. I want to thank you guys for being with me. I again want to remind you that the podcast starting next week will not be daily, because I will be leaving to go to Europe. So I am going to try to record a few ahead, and I will schedule them to post when I'm gone. But I don't want to spend my vacation recording podcasts. Plus, I'm going to probably lose my mind with that many people and trying to keep track of them in Europe. But I'm going to try to have a good time and not totally stress out. And I appreciate all of you for listening and for being patient. I will definitely start recording them again when I get home. And I will be doing the Facebook Lives again in August. Also, I'm going to take a little break from that for a while. But I want to thank you guys for always listening. Please subscribe to the podcast if you haven't already. That helps others find me. Leave a review if you would. That also helps people find me, and I super appreciate that. And if you haven't subscribed to my website, if you go do that, you will receive a free morning and evening meditation as my gift to you. And I just want to say thank you again for always being loyal listeners and being a part of my soul tribe. I just love you guys and so appreciate you. I am sending you massive love and light. I hope that you have a beautiful day, and I will talk to you again soon.